If you've ever wondered what a survivor-like game mechanic would look like in an arcade classic game, then you aren't alone, because solo developer Axel Bourne has made Breakout Survivors. It came out just over a week ago. It's only £3.39. I've been having an absolute blast with this, and I needed to do a video just to kind of talk about it, because it's given an arcade classic, and one that I've very much enjoyed for many years, a real new coat of paint in a very 2023 way. So, if you've never played Breakout before, it's a bat and a ball game. You need to smash all of the bricks and you control the bat to move around to capture the balls as it bounces around. And in traditional Breakout, if you let the ball go past your bat, you would lose a life. Not so in this game. This game is much more about the marching of bricks from the top of the screen coming down, and every wave gives more bricks with more health on, going faster. And so as you clear the bricks, you'll earn XP, and when you hit XP and level up, you then get to choose, like a Survivors-like game, from one of many optional upgrades. Now, you can upgrade your health, you can also upgrade the different balls and how many balls are generating up to a maximum of 5. But then over time and by playing the game repeatedly, you'll also unlock more different types of balls. So the standard one, obviously, will go out and smash around, and that's all well and good. However, you can get one that's got like double damage, but then on future upgrades it will be like 4 times damage or 6 times damage or whatever it is. There's ones that have an area of effect when they explode. There's a boomerang ball, so it will target very specific things, or like a homing missile style ball. There's one that splits out into smaller little balls whenever it hits the bat, and throughout all of their upgrades they get more and more powerful as you go along. Some of them like magnetise to the bat. Some of them will go through the bricks, like an invisible one hitting everything underneath it. There's loads of different ways how you can go about doing and choosing the different balls, and there's about, I think, 12 at the moment in total, but there's already been some upgrades since the launch week, so it's constantly growing and evolving over time. And it's deciding what you want in your arsenal, upgrading them, but then also choosing some of the other abilities. So I mentioned about upgrading health. You can also make the size of your bat longer. You can also increase the speed in which new balls generate. And you can also, on every 5 and 10 levels, unlock artifacts. And these are passive abilities that can affect the just general playing area or other gameplay elements. So these are things like dropping down health to replenish your health at the end of each wave. It could be moving the line of death down towards the bottom of the screen further and further. There's lots of different types. A shield is another good one, and then you can keep on building up on that shield, because that will replenish each wave, whereas your health might not do. So it depends on how you want to play. There's lots of variety here, but it's ultimately a really distilled, distinguished, and to the point, very direct Breakout game with just loads and loads of upgrades on. There's 2 different modes. You've got the quick mode, which will fire things at you much quicker and the waves are much shorter, and that normally takes anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to play max. If you're playing the full game and the standard mode, then that can take up to half an hour, and if you're particularly good, you can go well beyond that. There's online leaderboards for both. I'm trying to push my way up, but you unlock more artifacts that you can then have as spawn in your game for the subsequent replays. The more you play the game, the higher the score you get. So there is an element of replaying it quite a few times to unlock everything, so that you can then put it all into your basket of potential upgrades. You can also decide whether or not you want to turn some upgrades on or off as well, which is quite handy, because if there's a particular ball or play style that you're not fond with or don't feel is strong, then you can stop that from spawning and you can kind of hone in and target things. But it does show what you've done on the online leaderboards, so that it's very clear whether or not you've changed the rules or not, so just beware. For just a couple of pounds, seeing a solo developer really think, do you know what, Survivor-like games are great, but everyone's just copying and pasting the exact same thing and going, look, it's now a different animal in the middle. This really takes the Survivors-like element into something very, very different, and I could see this being the start of a new Survivors-like subgenre, where you apply the same principle to games that you just generally don't think of having survivor-like elements before. So I'm really excited to see what this starts to spawn out, but Breakout Survivors for a couple of quid is an absolute no-brainer recommendation from me, particularly if you're old and you grew up in the 80s and 90s in the early formations of arcade gaming and this is your jam. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/Higher Network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.